We know that yesterday didn't go as well as Shane Steichen or the Indianapolis Colts would have liked it to. We know that they've got regrets over the way the game was called and the way the game was executed. We know that Shane Steichen, when the Colts lose, is eager to say, you know what, my bad, I've got to own it. For those of you who want to hear specifically Shane Steichen say maybe we should have run the ball a little bit more, you're in for a treat today. Shane Steichen talking about his culpability as far as that Indianapolis Colts 27-20 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here he is.
All right. Just like I said yesterday, no injuries to report from the game yesterday. Obviously a disappointing game going back and watching the tape. When you commit, the turnovers like we did, it's hard to win football games. Starts with me. I got to do a better job, putting our guys in position so it doesn't happen. And then we go from there. So get it cleaned up today, take ownership, take responsibility for all of it, and then get ready to go for Atlanta this week.
All right, Kevin, you want to start us off?
Shane, what do you think of Jalen Jones and getting back in the lineup?
Yeah, I thought he did some really good things. Obviously, he was sticky in coverage to hold DK to, I think, 2 catches for 6 yards. Obviously, that was one of our keys. I thought he did a good job covering all day. So it was good to get him back in the lineup. We're excited, for his next opportunity coming up this week.
And then 24 hours out from the deadline, do you expect you guys will make a move?
We're working through that. Like I said, Chris and his staff are doing their due diligence on that stuff, and we'll see how it plays out.
James?
We need yes or no answers here. Shane, when you look at what Latu was able to do yesterday, what stood out to you about his impact and really just overall your defensive effort?
Yeah, the defensive effort was fantastic. I thought those guys were flying around. I thought Latu did a hell of a job getting the sacks that he did, but a lot of it stemmed too from the coverage on the back end. I thought our guys were sticky in coverage all day. I think we held them to 226 total yards, and like I said, I thought our defense was phenomenal for us yesterday.
Cap, go ahead.
Yeah, Shane, I don't know whether you consider this a shorter week or not because of the travel. Does that play into the fact that the bounce back and maybe less preparation, or does that not factor at all?
I don't think it factors. I think, we'll try to create, a normal week as we can, as much as possible. Obviously, we're going to be traveling earlier this week than we would normal away games. But, we got to attack it the same way, one day at a time, and get back to work. Our Wednesday prep will be the same. Our Thursday prep will be the same. And we'll get out there on Friday and attack it like we do any normal week.
One other question, injury related. Mooney Ward misses one more game with at least one more game with a concussion. It's kind of strange. Is he in protocol? Has he passed protocol, or does that not happen until he's back on the field?
Yeah, he's still working through it. Yeah, he's still in it. So, once we get all that cleared up, he'll be back.
Okay.
Steven?
Hey, Shane, I assume I know the answer here, but what was Daniel like after a game like that? He put a lot of it on his shoulders, fair or not, whatever. But same guy, I assume, or
yeah, same guy. He's steady as all get out. Obviously looked at the tape, get the things that we need to get corrected, and then we go attack it again. And he'll be prepared and ready to go. And he's already probably watching Atlanta film right now. We just broke meetings. I'm sure he's onto them.
Cool, thanks.
Yeah.
Joel?
Bernie was pretty hard on himself in the locker room yesterday. What do you think about, the way he played yesterday and just the way he's played overall this season?
Yeah, I think Bernie's done a hell of a job for us. I'm sure there's a few plays he'd want back. And, I got to do a better job of putting those guys in better positions too. We knew they had a good pass rush, and Highsmith and Herbrick and Watt are really good players. So, we'll learn from this game and grow from it and get back to work this week.
Nathan?
Shane, if you got a chance to watch the tape, what stood out most about what you saw from what you guys did on the offensive line, and anything that stood out that Pittsburgh did that was either different than what you guys expected or was just executed really well that led to those sacks and some of those turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, you go back and look at the tape. Like I said, there's a few, protection stuff that I could have done a better job of helping our guys in certain situations. And then you learn from those situations, you grow from them. Credit to those guys. I thought they did a good job on that side of the defense, and we got to get those little things cleaned up moving forward. Like I said, turn the ball over like we did. It can't happen. You're not going to win a lot of football games in this league, and so you take ownership of that, you address it, and make sure going forward that you can't turn the ball over like that moving forward.
And then as much as you're able to share, how would you characterize, or what would you say your message was to the guys in the locker room after the game, after a loss that was both close and also, as I know a lot of folks have touched on, just a little uncharacteristic than the team that we've seen this year? It's not like this was a game that you guys played maybe up to your ability in some ways and just lost a tight one. How do you handle that as a coach in these next couple of days?
Yeah, I told those guys in there, just like the mistakes that we made, right? We got to get them cleaned up, but that doesn't define who we are as a football team. What defines us is how we respond to the situation. And like I said, as a collective, taking ownership and everything that happened out there on all three phases and getting it cleaned up in a hurry, because we got a hell of a challenge, coming up against Atlanta.
Just a couple more here. Kevin.
Shane, I know you said post game, you maybe felt like, I don't know, a couple extra carries for JT. As you went back and watched it today, is it more just you got to be effective in the carries that you gave him, or do you really think you needed to give him more?
Yeah, I think I could have been more balanced there probably in the first half. I thought we moved the ball really well on that first drive. And then I think, we had some opportunities there. Obviously, I think to start the second quarter, we were driving pretty good, up 7-0, had a chance there. And that's when the sack fumble happened. You always look back at those situations and, hey, shoot, maybe I could have called the run here. Maybe I could have called the run there. And again, that's all part of the evaluation process when you go through games, whether you win or lose. You're always trying to get better in every aspect of your game as a coach and as a player. So, yeah, maybe a little more balance there in that first half, with what they were doing. And then we go from there.
We'll go with Steven, and then James will be our last question.
But you kind of answered my question. I was just going to follow up. You had said earlier there were some things maybe you could do differently in protection. I think you meant help a little more at times, right? I guess I was going to ask, in addition to that, with the running game, JT, I think he got the most out of most of the runs that he could. What did you see in the run game, in the run defense, I should say? Was it just good personnel having a good day, or do you think there were some schematic things you guys can help him with there? I don't know.
Yeah, I always look at the schematics first and foremost of trying to put our guys in better positions. It starts with me and, our guys too. We can all do better, right? As a collective, it's not just about one guy. When things like that happen in a game, everyone's got to be better. And we learn from it. Like I said, we grow from it. And, as we look through this week and looking at what Atlanta's doing and how they're playing different things, obviously put our guys in the best position to go be successful and be ready to adjust on the sideline when the time occurs.
And then James, last question.
Shane, we always hear the cliche of like you learn more after a loss than a win and all those things, but I imagine you want to win every game. You can still learn from wins too. When you look at Daniel and obviously how obsessed he is with the craft and things like that, do you think that's why, or what traits do you think allowed this team to rally around him, even when things don't go as well like they did yesterday? And how much do you think his character is defined by the moments he's in now versus like when everything is great and everyone is feeling good?
Yeah, no question. I think we've talked about it with him so much from the start that his preparation, he's the same guy every week, no matter what happens. He's been playing lights out for us, and he was the same guy even playing lights out. It wasn't like he relaxed at any moment or any time in the season so far, and it's going to be the same this week. And you can see that our guys got a ton of faith in his abilities to go out, be successful, and put our guys in position to go make plays on Sunday. So a ton of confidence in his ability leading this football team.
That's Shane Steichen, and I got to tell you the truth, the humility bit, that's no act. That's a pretty humble guy. Shane Steichen understands what could have happened yesterday, what didn't happen yesterday, and why what should have happened yesterday should have happened yesterday, and what he could have done to cause that outcome to be different today. He gets it. So Steichen, he's going to learn from it. His staff's going to learn from it. And off the Colts are going to go, moving forward toward this game in Germany this weekend against the Falcons. One thing that's for sure, he ain't going to change. That man is as consistent as he can be.